and we just kind of want to hear a little bit about you and your stories. And so just tell us a little bit about yourself, and what you did kind of before Juice Plus, and yeah, just tell us a little bit about you.
How you got involved in the business as well.
Cool. Okay, so I guess for us, the whole Juice Plus journey started 2.5 years ago. At the time, I was actually looking for something like this. So the majority of people that get involved in Juice Plus are people that get roped into it, persuaded, brought along to events. But I was, at the time, a struggling poor carpenter. I'd been doing it for 10 years and I was literally fed up. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was living for the weekends. I was broke at the end of each month. I was one of those lads that literally went out and celebrated on a Saturday night the fact that I had survived another week at work. And then on Sunday night, I would then again get the dread in my stomach of going back to do work again. And I just didn't want to live my life like that. But the only problem is that I didn't know any other way in which to earn an income whilst having time freedom. And that's when I got invited to a networking event by Romy and Alex. And I had no idea what it was, but I just said to Harriet, look, I'm going to go to this networking event simply because I want to make a difference to my life. I want to change my life. I don't care what it is, but I'm just curious and want to check it out. And then, do you want to tell the rest of the story?
Well, the first time you said you wanted to go, and I said no, so you didn't, did you?
No.
You can tell he wears the trousers. And then he said the second event he'd been invited to, he was going to go, and he said, I'm going with or without you. And at that moment I was like, oh, okay, he's not doing as he's told. This is not good. No, but I basically decided, fine, I'll go along with you. But I was genuinely really pissed off. I didn't want to go to the event. And we went in, we tried to sit at the back of the room, didn't we? And that didn't work. We got shuffled forward.
Yeah.
And we listened to a couple of speakers just talking about what the business had done for them. And actually, I remember someone saying that they were a firefighter and they had quit their job. And I was like, wow, that's a really big deal. Because obviously I was a trainee teacher back then, so similarity in it being a public service job, I was like, wow, he's left a really serious job. Maybe I should actually take a look at this. And really, I only got involved because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop thinking about how I could do it. I was already using Facebook, and I honestly only wanted £100 from it because I thought, I'm training to be a teacher, I've got my career sorted, and I kind of thought I knew best, and I was on, I thought I had a really good job. But little did we realise that I used to think 40 grand a year was amazing, and this business opened my eyes to realise that I could be worth a lot more if I applied myself. So yeah, we got involved from there. A lot of people don't realise that me and Dan actually signed up under one franchise, which was under Dan's name, and we did that for over a year. So we built we built one franchise to SC. Yeah. And then we basically got really stuck because our team went from 30 down to 1. And so we had SC title, but we only had me, Dan, and one girl on our team called M, who still is with us now, which is really cool. So we then knew we had to do something drastic, and we thought a way to build our business back up was to prove that if we led from the front, and if we did a franchise in my name underneath Dan and I could go SDD, then it would inspire everyone else to. And it did, didn't it? Yeah. We then literally I went SDD, went SC. As I went SC, Dan went SSC. As he went Q and MD, I went SSC. And that's where we're at now, isn't it? So now we're obviously going for Q and N, and we've just built it together ever since.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not too far away for you.
No. We're working on it.
Yeah.
It'll be there. Amazing. So if you wouldn't mind, you told us quite a bit of a personal story, Harry, on stage in Birmingham regarding obviously the health and what the products and the business have enabled you to do in terms of obviously having to take sick leave. So would you mind just kind of touching on that and just explaining how the business has enabled you to sort of continue going on about your daily routine?
Yeah, so because I teach drama and dance, that's probably a bit of crucial information for you to know. I basically have always, my whole life, had bunions on my feet. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. They're horrible, and mine got really painful, so I decided to have a really routine operation to have it removed. Now, unfortunately, they don't advise you have both feet done at once, so it's probably best that I did it. So I had my left foot done, and I was signed off work for 8 weeks, and I thought, brilliant, I can work on my part-time business with my feet up. But unfortunately, it kind of went horribly wrong for me, because I started to feel really poorly, and I contracted an infection, and it went unnoticed for 10 days. Anyone that knows, like, infection windows kind of go up to a maximum of 16 days before serious stuff has to happen. By the time I'd been admitted to hospital, I had to have the wound surgically cleaned, and it just took all the skin and tissue from my foot, so I literally had bone exposed. And the surgeon said they might have to amputate my entire foot because the infection might have got to the bone. And then at one point they said they might save the foot, but they would take my toes. And literally, I thought, what am I going to do? Because not only, like, was I gutted from a self point of view, like, I'm a woman, like, this, that's not what you want, like, obviously. But because I teach drama and dance, like, was I going to have to take medical redundancy? Was I going to lose my job? What would I do for a career? Like, I've trained for like 4 years to be a drama teacher. What would I have to go and would I be on disability benefits? Like, I didn't know. Like, I thought, and then there was a whole, like, self-depression of, like, oh my God, I'm gonna not have a foot. Like, how am I even gonna cope? And in that time, I spent a whole month in hospital. I've had, like, reconstructive surgery, skin and arteries taken from my arm, put on my foot. And in that time, like, Dan spent every single day at my bedside, like 14 hours a day, working on the business. I still got 10 customers that month, and I think I had 5 team members.
Yeah.
Because Dan was just answering all my messages for me, and in between operations I was doing what I could. Because actually, although that was, like, the lowest and darkest point of probably my entire life, the business was like my rainbow in that. And I think people have decisions when things happen to them. You have a choice whether you're going to let that define who you are, or whether you're going to, like, take it and turn it into a positive thing. And I decided that it was going to be my positive thing and not my negative thing. So I actually went SSC the following month of coming out of hospital. So, you know, you can use this business to your advantage. Like, I could quite happily now, like, if say I'd had my foot amputated, I could do this business from home and it wouldn't matter. Luckily that didn't happen, so yeah. But yeah, it's just been amazing.
Thank you for sharing that.
No excuses whatsoever. It just comes down to, obviously, how bad you want it, doesn't it? And
yeah, definitely.
you had your vision and you continue working, nothing was going to hold you back.
Yeah, definitely. So the first, not first question, but second question for you guys is, what do you find works best for you when you're recruiting, and how have you used your brand to kind of form a team, or how has that played such a vital role in your business?
Yeah, we recruit differently. So
okay. So in terms of the brand itself with XXY, that isn't really what attracts people to me. The only thing that attracts people to me is me.
Okay.
So my personal profile is where all of the activity happens with recruiting. The brand is simply something that people use as an umbrella to say that we're more than just a few group of people. We are a huge team. So the XXY is just a culture to show people that we are all a team of people who are linking arms together, and we're solid as a team. So any negativity, any stuff, that we can handle that, because we're a team of people that are moving forward together towards one vision. In terms of recruiting and stuff, I always go by the process of friends first and business second. In my team, we actually don't tend to use the word recruiting. We use the word friendship making, because all we're trying to do is connect, find the like-minded people, find our tribe, make friends with them, and then offer the opportunity. I know that some people might think, God, that's a bit of a long-winded way, but I'm a carpenter, I'm a guy, I'm not famous, I don't look like Brad Pitt, so there's nothing for me that people are going to say, oh my God, I want to be like Dan Aldridge. What I have to do is the long and slow process of building a friendship, and sometimes it takes weeks and months, but if you do it with enough people, the numbers all overlap, and eventually you're going to get you know, you're free. On average, I get 3 to 4 team members a month.
Wow.
I'm not fantastic, but I'm not rubbish. But the one thing I am is consistent. I've done that every single month since I've started. And, you know, the whole 825 in 1 rule, right, guys? And you guys, like, have got that group going down right now. That's all you've got to do is do the 825 plus 1. So why not strive for 825 plus 3? That way you're going to build a business much faster, much stronger.
Yeah.
Love
See,
that. Brilliant.
my strategies are completely different to Dan's, but I think Dan has to do it because he's a man, so he has to do that long game. But for me, things that you guys could actually take away are like live videos are massive for me. Like I've just done one. My 2 girls are actually sat on the floor down here, so they're not really here. Well, there they are. But like we've just done a live video because we actually decided that although me and Dan do a lot of events, I know we'll touch on that in a bit, the people do get scared to come to events, like it is a daunting thing. And sometimes when you do a live video on your own, although that's still amazing, like still do live videos on your own, we've just came up with a new idea of why don't we actually get a couple of the girls round, like maybe do 1 a week and just informally chat about business, chat about products. And we just had some, I've been thinking about it for ages, and we allow people to ask us questions. So live videos are definitely something you need to do. If you're too scared to do them, then good, that means you need to do it. Just practice your story and just share that, or even just do a live video of you making a shake, or if you've got kids, get them involved just to like break the ice so that you don't feel so nervous. But definitely get on the live videos. This is the other trick I use. So I go live at events. So when I'm at an event, I go live. But the trick that people forget is when people are watching your live video, it says the names of who's like joined your thing. But unless they like it, you don't know who watched it. So what you have to do is when you're watching it, you have to screenshot the names. And then you basically the next day you can send them a message going, oh, hi Beth. Thanks so much for watching my live video last night. I hope you liked it. I normally say something like, oh, I was so nervous about speaking. And then I just say, if you do want any info on what I do, give me a shout. Because they don't obviously know that you know they were watching. And maybe they were too afraid to message you. So it's a really nice way for you to approach them. But people always, I think they miss out on that trick because they don't screenshot the names. I recruit by chasing my likes. So if I've ever put anything to do with recruiting or lifestyle, I will drop them a message really similar. Hey Mel, thanks so much for liking my status earlier about recruiting. Like, if you do want any info, like I'm always happy to help. And the other thing that I find really useful is voice notes. So like literally if someone shows some interest, I will send them a voice note because people are more emotionally inclined to reply to you if you voice note them than if you message them, because they feel like they're talking to a real person rather than a screen or behind a keyboard. So voice notes are really powerful. And again, if you feel nervous about doing it, you just got to bite the bullet and maybe practice voice note in your friends or something. That's cool. But that's like my biggest like tactics for like chasing up and recruiting people.
Brilliant. I like the idea. Because I've done in the past. I always had people come on who have never liked my statuses, but they'll always watch the videos. And then I've tried to remember them, and then I go to message them, and then I remember all 2 or 3, and then I'm like, shit, I forgot all the names.
yeah, 100%. Screenshot and then you don't have to worry.
Brilliant.
Good idea.
So following on from that, obviously with recruiting, what are the 3 top things that you get a brand new starter to do when they join your team?
We have a starter guide.
We do have a starter guide.
Yeah.
So this is pretty OCD. Is that the word? Basically, these are our 3 things on what to do first when you join. Number 1 is write a list of people. So you want to do all business and product. So all the people who you think might be interested in the business, all the people that might be interested in the product, but don't contact them yet. Okay, don't contact them until you've had further instruction, because it's important that you contact them in the right manner. Whilst writing your list, you got to listen to Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business, because that will help you understand the philosophies and the industry and in the way it works. So they'll be learning whilst they'll be doing their list. Number 3 is get on the product yourself. You physically can't represent the product you're not using.
And we always try and get our team members on the gold plan.
Yeah, and we try and duplicate gold plans because you'll build a faster, bigger, better, and if you use the best, you sell the best.
And we do have a number 4 because it's actually, we have a step 1 to 4. So I know you know. Step 4 is you have to get to an event ASAP.
Yeah.
And we make them download Zoom as well as part of that, because obviously it might be an online event.
Yeah. And I've literally just been downstairs with a potential, and I've told him, write your list, but don't contact them, just invite them. Become a good inviter. So what his goal is to come to our next event and bring all of his potentials, not because he wants to recruit them, but just as friends, because he doesn't want to come to the event on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that.
I'm literally taking so many notes. I'm loving this. So excited. You do learn something new every single day.
I suppose when you're brand new, you've got to hold back that excitement from.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting 50 to 60 statuses out an hour, like some people do.
Yeah, and they literally just blow all their warm markets out of the water, and they're not interested then. But
yeah, that's so true.
I find
love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So obviously you've just kind of touched on events. So can you explain your event culture, your event structure, and why events have been important and fundamental within your business, and why you would recommend everybody is to hold an event and get to an event?
I'll say why they're important. You can say how structured to do.
Sorry, I should have just broke that down rather than just going, do that.
So events are massively important for us. I appreciate maybe like other teams do it differently, but just from our experience, like when our business dropped from 30 to 1, it's because we stopped doing events. There was no coincidence there. We had got to the point where we only had 1 or 2 people coming to our events, and we were a bit, I don't know, I guess we were a bit lazy in the sense of that we thought that wasn't good enough. So we were like, oh, we're not going to pay to hire a room, or we're not going to put an event on. We'll just do one-to-ones. And slowly that just got less and less and less. And we realised that actually it was the event culture. Like when you put an event on, only 1 or 2 people will come. And the room might look full, but it will be all team. And that's fine, because those 2 people will then come to your next event, and then there'll be 4. And then there might be 5, and then there might be 6, and next thing you know, you've got 200 people in a room with John Holloway. So you have to like keep it consistent, because the first few events no one will come. Like I remember John saying, like, we put on an event, no one came, put on an event, no one came, put on an event, no one came, 4th event, 1 person came. So like you have to stick with it, because like, and we've just been talking about like even if we do between our big events, like going to like Frankie and Benny's and sitting in a booth and inviting people to come along, and if no one comes, then we just sit and have a cocktail. Like that's fine, we'll still have a drink, and it's not a waste of a night. And you can invite your team, and if no one ever turns up to your events, you can do team training. So no event is ever wasted. But we do try and encourage all our newbies to do a home event, but we do have an event structure that we follow. So do you want to explain it?
And to be honest with you, we haven't been doing it as much lately, simply because we have been trying to develop our leaders. So maybe the event structure I'm about to teach is for people who are literally quite new and haven't quite got the momentum yet. Mm-hmm. But the way we built our business last year was we split our month into 3 different categories. So we had week 1 is always home event week. So home event week is where each person individually does a home event, where they invite their family and friends and other people who might come and support them. So then they could get 1 or 2 potentials, but the most important thing about a home event is that it always follows on to a bigger event. So that's a Team XXY event, which then their potentials can bring their potentials to the XXY event. So your team goes from 1 potential to maybe 3 or 4. And then after the XXY event, we then do like Zoom calls or large company events. We try and get to something even bigger to gain even more exposure. So you're literally bringing someone who lived a few doors down to a home event to then get in the car and come into Bath for a big event, and then get in the car and come into Birmingham, Bristol, Liverpool, Manchester for the ultimate exposure. So that person's come from being a stranger, maybe just a friend, to literally becoming a raving fan of the Juice Plus company, from a series of small incremental steps that build up to the big picture.
Yeah.
Superb. I love that. I find that you've got to get to them bigger events to see the bigger picture. It's not about the information behind the product and the business. It's way more than that. And you've experienced that. You feel at a conference. It's okay watching it live on Facebook, but you'll never know what it is truly like until you're actually in that room. And Birmingham was an example of that last weekend.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can't make real friendships online either.
It's the energy too.
Yeah.
I'm literally scribbling like you wouldn't believe. I'm so excited by this call. I'm so happy. The final question that we've actually got written down at the moment is, so what are your, obviously, future plans and goals? We know that you're gunning for NMD. It's going to happen. We've seen Harriet's everyday vision board that she pops up in a goal list and a bucket list. But what's sort of like in store for XXY and for you guys in the next sort of 12 months now?
Well, Dan won't propose to me till I'm PMD, so that's definitely up there. I know. If only he was as reasonable as Jonny.
We're not allowed a honeymoon until we reconfirm NMD and IMD, so you're all right. We get it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, we definitely both want to be NMD this year and beyond. We really want to have an XXY big like training event for all the like other teams like you guys to come down south, because we spend a lot of time traveling up north because obviously that's where everything's at, but we feel like there's a lot going on down south, so we would love to be like the ones kind of hosting that to make a bit of a hub down south.
That'd be amazing.
My ultimate goal, my long-term vision for this business, not just in the 12 months, is to be financially free by the age of 30. And the reason why I'm doing this business is to provide a lifestyle for my family. I want to raise a family in a situation where I can be the best parent ever and have the time freedom to raise them with complete attention and not have to dump them at childminders and all the other things that a lot of kids get left at today simply because the parents have to go to work. So for me, it's all about the long-term vision and the legacy that I want to leave my family. I want to do what Alex Webb has done for Romy and leave, my franchise to my kids to become professional network marketers also.
Love that. That's so powerful. Yeah. So amazing. And obviously, sort of like 5-6 years ago, we would never have had that dream or that vision because a lot of us didn't even know what network marketing was then. So it's so amazing that we are now able to give that back to other people because in 10 years' time, network marketing is going to be the norm to the majority. I just think that's so incredible. I know there's a couple of comments like popping up from the team at the moment. Kate McKinley said that you're brilliant. Your guys was the very first event that she ever went to. She went FCD just before Birmingham, which was amazing. So have you guys got any questions for these two before we close off for the evening? If you have, just comment in the chat or raise that little weird hand thing that you can do on Zoom.
I'll ask this before someone else does. What does XXY mean?
So everyone asks this.
Oh yeah, good question.
It's XX and XY is the male and female chromosomes.
Chromosomes.
Oh
yeah. I just thought there was one missing, but obviously you combined it. Clever. Got it.
Yeah, we just wanted it to be catchy.
Amazing. So we've got. Everyone just thinks you're amazing. I don't think they've got any questions as yet. So we just obviously want to say like a huge thank you. I know it was short and sweet, but you've covered so much, and it's very rare that I will get loads of notes from somebody as well, which I think is incredible. So thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. Obviously, you've been speaking to potentials. You've got two girls sitting on the floor patiently waiting for you to come back. We do have one question actually, which is from Rosie. Rosie is our new SC. So how do you keep your mindset focused daily? I have my tactics but a few of my teams struggle to keep positive.
Hang on, before you speak. Congratulations, Rosie, on did she go SC?
SC, yeah.
SC, yeah.
Well done. Amazing. I am the answer, the guy to answer this question. So personal development is insanely important. I was the most skeptical, negative, depressing guy ever before I built it. So it's crazy important to make sure that your daily routine involves some sort of affirmations or motivation or podcast, so that for the rest of the day you are in peak state, as Tony Robbins says. So my morning routine is I wake up and I go to the gym. And instead of listening to the radio or music, I listen to podcasts such as MLM Nation. I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk podcast, and I listen to and watch things from Jim Rohn on YouTube. motivation does fade. So it's important that you do it every single day. If I didn't listen to motivation every single day, in a month's time, I'd be miserable. But because I remind myself every single morning, I'm in peak state every single day, and I'm fired up today, and I'll be fired up tomorrow at 9 o'clock after I've been to the gym as well. So it's just daily motivation. You've got to wash yourself in it every single day like you have a shower.
Yeah. I think it's like anything, isn't it? Like you said there about the shower, it's consistency, and that's all your business is about. Like,
yeah.
The compound effect. We were talking about this yesterday with Paul McGuire. It's the little bits that you're putting into your business that are going to add up to the big things that you want to achieve.
Yeah, it's so true.
Totally. Thank you so much to the pair of you. You don't understand how much we appreciate it. I'm sure all the guys have absolutely loved it. So make sure you go and share them some love on Facebook. Don't add them as a friend, follow them, because they're not for people. But no, honestly, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening.
Really appreciate it.
Learnt loads, and we're absolutely buzzing for you. We can't wait to see you on stage as NMD this year.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you. We can't wait to have you on our call.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We come from 2
Forward
weeks on
to it.
Sunday.
Yeah, 2 weeks Sunday. Can't wait.
Really
See you
appreciate
then.
it.
Take
Enjoy the
care.
rest of your night.
Night, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.